Hey guys, it's been a while since our last Dragon Ball video, and I did say we are going to try and blaze through many of the characters in Super as possible. But for this particular video, we are going to be covering Dende. You guys might be thinking, why Dende? Well, after watching a couple of videos from SJ Carter, we felt inspired to pick Dende up and do a quick video giving him some spotlight. Before we start, I'd like to remind you guys, if you want to purchase awesome anime apparels and accessories, then make sure to check out our sponsors Anime Ryo, where they will give you a 10% discount on their products with the discount code ABD Squad. The link is in the description and comment section below. And a quick disclaimer before we start, I might butcher some pronunciations here and there, so please forgive me in advance. And if you end up enjoying this video, show us some love by smashing that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell. Now we're all that out the way, let's cue the intro. Dende's name, like every other character in Dragon Ball, is a pun, and in Dende's case, his name derives from Dende Mushi, which is the Japanese word for snail. Now you guys might be thinking that it doesn't belong to the food puns that Toriyama usually goes with. Well, actually it does, as snails are a delicacy in some countries, but I'm pretty sure Toriyama was more likely trying to reference an actual snail rather than it being a food. As Namekians are based on slugs and snails, the word Namek is just a play on the word Namekuji, which means slug. Now going back to food and puns, Dende's name is also a reference to a semi-solid orange palm oil, which is very popular in Brazil and is used for both colors and flavors. Dende's name doesn't stop there. Later in the Dragon Ball community, Dende started being used as a reference to other things.
Just send them Dragon Balls my way. Let me give you
Dende's design concept, like the other Namekians, was driven from Toriyama's early conception of Piccolo and Kami. Initially, Toriyama intended Piccolo to be based on some demon-looking race. In fact, Toriyama stated that Piccolo's design was one of his favorite. But after Toriyama realized his illustration for Piccolo and Kami looked like slugs with their antenna and all, he later decided to base the entire race on a slug humanoid species. As mentioned earlier, Namek is driven from the word Namekuji, meaning slug, but Toriyama went even further to build the concept for Dende's species. In the early Namek world, the planet was populated with a plant called Ajisa, which is the Japanese name for the hydrangea plants that snails are known to like. And in the terms of Dende's illustration and appearance, it is very similar to Piccolo's when he was a child, except for their clothing, where instead Dende wears the traditional Namekian dress. And during the Great Saiyaman saga, Dende grows taller with sharper eyes and wears the clothes of a guardian of the earth. However, later in the series, during the Fusion saga onwards, Dende reverts back to wearing his old traditional clothes. Okay, so we know Dende is part of the Namekian race, but did you guys know that Dende is the literal offspring of the Grand Elder Guru? In fact, the Grand Elder Guru actually repopulated the whole of planet Namek after a climate shift in the age 261, which wiped out most of the Namekians. Along with the Elder Guru, only a couple of Super Namekians survived. One other unnamed Namekian, who was said to be the child of Kantas, a gifted Namekian from the Dragon Clan, also managed to live by being sent off to Earth as a child to ensure his survival. We later found out that he split himself into Kami and King Piccolo. Elder Guru ended up giving birth to 109 Namekians, giving Dende a total of 108 siblings. To list a few, there is Suno, Muri, Nail, Cargo, and Mulin. Now Piccolo and Kami aren't actually his siblings because they had a different forefather, although you could say Kami is Dende's predecessor, and Piccolo, after merging with Nail, I guess you could group him as a sibling. Dende taking on the role of the Guardian of the Earth was critiqued due to his lack of battle ability, as Dende is not really a fighter and technically he is never really seen fighting, unlike his predecessor Kami. However, Dende is still a powerful gifted Dragon Clan member and a healer, where he is among the only characters beside Kibito, Supreme Kai of Time, Majin Buu, or an Eternal Dragon who is seen healing other people without the aid of magical objects such as sensu beans. So in actual combat, he usually takes on a more supportive role, relying on the other Z fighters to protect the Earth. But being a strong warrior wasn't really a requirement of being the Earth's guardian. To be honest, the ability to create and maintain the Dragon Balls is enough. Plus his protection is covered by the dedicated protector of guardians, Mr. Popo, where he is seen even giving up his life to save Dende, as we see during the Fusion saga. In the terms of numbers, Dende's power level is 10 in the video game Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan Densetsu, while it's 10,000 in Dragon Ball Z the anime adventure game after the Grand Guru unlocked his potential. And as the Guardian of Earth, Dende was able to upgrade the dragon with more wishing power than it had before. It is implied that the Dragon Balls are as strong as their creator, so we can assume that Dende after his Guardian training surpasses Kami's dragon magic. So basically guys, yeah, Dende is not weak as a lot of people think. In fact, he is an OP mage, and once he inherited his guardian role, he obtained great abilities such as godly ki, far-seeing arts, portal opening and other godly abilities. Alright guys, so we know fusion is one of the most exciting concepts we witnessed in the series, and funny enough, one of the first characters we see that fuses is Piccolo, who is a Namekian like Dende. So at one point we were thinking maybe we would see Dende fusing with another Namekian. Unfortunately that wasn't the case, and Dende didn't get a chance to fuse with anyone. However, there are a couple of hypothetical fusions that feature Dende. One of them is Dale Ende, I hope I pronounced this name correctly, which is the fusion between Dende and Nail. This fusion only appears in the Fusion Frenzy card in the Dragon Ball Z collectible card game. Although the card itself does not depict the fused character, instead it shows the two fusing characters besides each other. Another hypothetical fusion is between Goku and Dende using the Piccolo earrings, as imagined by Goku in the Z series. After the introduction, the fusion character reappeared in the Dragon Ball Z collectible card games with the given name Den Goku. Now guys, where will Dragon Ball be without some inconsistencies and blunders? In fact, did you guys know that there is a major inconsistency in the series with Dende's character? Yeah, that's right, throughout the series in the manga, Dende's appearance changes from a child form to an adult form, and then back again to a child. The inconsistency followed into the anime, as in a few episodes of the Fusion Saga, Dende appears in his child form, starting with the episode The Evil of Men. This also was the case within the Dragon Ball Super anime, where Dende is shown as a younger version of himself compared to how he appeared at one point as an adult. This blunder was more likely due to Toriyama just simply forgetting that he had aged Dende after the Cell Game saga. For the Japanese dub, Dende was voiced by Tomiko Suzuki, who was also the voice for Maron and Bee. Later for Dragon Ball Super, Dende was voiced by the superstar Aya Hirano, who is the same voice for Haruhi from the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, Misa from Death Note, Lucy from Fairy Tail, among many other known characters. For the Fun Animation English dub, Dende was voiced by Sally Delgadillo, I hope I pronounced that name correctly, and later by Justin Cook, the same voice of Raditz, Super Boo and other characters from the series. Cook is also the same voice for Yusuke and Yu Yu Hakusho. Although Dende doesn't really have much screen time within the series, he plays an important role in the Dragon Ball Online game, where Toriyama himself had a great creative control. The story within the game takes place on Earth 216 years after the conclusion of the Dragon Ball manga. One of the main storyline is that New Namek was destroyed by a character called Mira, and the Namekians had fled to Earth. Later in the game we find out that Dende is now regarded as the greatest spiritual teacher in Namekian history, and the class of Dende's priests are those that follow his teaching and learn his way of healing, along with the ability to empower their allies. The new generation of Namekian people that fled to Earth apparently work under him. Another role with Dende is that he resolves to deactivate the Dragon Balls, as Old Kai had expressed his disapproval of the Dragon Balls, considering them to go against the natural order of the universe, and because the Earth was at peace, Dende worried having active Dragon Balls around may mean putting the Earth at risk. So he deactivates the Dragon Balls, only later to reactivate it again. He does that in order to encourage the people of Earth to become more powerful, and when he reactivates the original set of Dragon Balls, he creates many more sets, spreading them across the Earth with the original power divided between them. Basically, Dende's dragon magic becomes so powerful, he can make more than one set of Dragon Balls in the game. In the terms of popularity and recognition, Dende's character being more of a support wasn't really giving him much spotlight, but in a popularity poll for the Weekly Boys Jump 1993, the 12th edition, Dende actually came in the top 10 position with 756 votes for the first poll. Dende's character has also been a favourite among the Dragon Ball meme community, along with being a star in the TFS parody of the Dragon Ball series. Since then, the Dragon Ball community started to increase Dende's popularity with those given references. And while we're talking about memes, couple of running gags within TFS, like Krillin thinking that Dende's name was Little Green, is a reference to the AB Group A dub where Piccolo is referred to as Big Green. Couple of other memes of Dende was brought out, like Dende's pretentious and narcissistic nature, Dende's animosity for Krillin, and lastly Dende showing that he has a massive crush on Gohan. Alright guys, like always, it's time for a blazing round. Dende is a hermaphrodite, meaning that he's neither male or female. He is the literal epitome of non-binary. And due to this, Namekians usually don't rely on the concept of romance or physical attraction. But within the Dragon Ball community, Dende being as such led to the running gag for his love for Gohan. Dende died twice in the series, with both times he was brought back. His first death was on December 24th at the age 762, when Frieza ends up killing him. He was then revived by the Dragon Balls, and the second time he died was on age 776, again by Frieza when he blew up the planet, but he came back when time was reversed. In an interview with Toriyama, when asked who would you want as your kid, Toriyama stated he would want to have Dende as his child, and in his own words he said he's serious and can heal his own injuries. But he looks a little strange, so I guess he'd be picked on at school, and I guess Toriyama ain't wrong about that. Imagine a Dende looking kid in your class. Like, really? Sorry. It's not that funny actually. And on another interview, when Toriyama was asked, who would you like to be friends with? He responded with, the characters I draw are all pretty quirky to be friends with, and there are a lot of characters who might expose me to danger, so to be honest, I'd rather not be friends with them. But if I had to choose, I would go with the following 5 people, where he listed Bulma, Son Gohan, Dende, Master Roshi and Krillin. The reasoning he picked Dende was for the same reason he chose Gohan, because in his own words, he isn't loud, he's polite and he works hard. Alright guys, that sums up our boy Dende, or wait, should I say our girl, or non-binary Dende? Well, damn it, I'm just gonna call him Little Green. So we have come to the end of this video. Remember guys, if you guys enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button. And if you want more videos like this, hit that notification bell to stay updated. And don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. More than likely, we will follow up on a couple of other Dragon Ball characters, probably starting with Whis. But until then, I'll catch you guys next time.
Do you know what the most frightening thing in the world is? It's fear. Fear.
You gotta be fucking kidding.